It's always a pleasure to have you, and I'm always excited when I have first time with you. May this truly be a wonderful day. I'm just going to jump into it. Today, I want to talk about peace. I feel like there's always been a misconception on my part, and I've noticed that it's not only me, but a lot of people as well, where there's an assumption that peace is, it means there are no trials and everything is fine and you're having a great life and you don't have any problems. That's what I used to think, but that's a misconception according to the Word of God. Why? Let's look at Mark chapter 4 from verse 35 to 41. There's a story there where Jesus calms the storm. So let me read. That day, when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along. Just as he was in the boat, there was also other boats with him. A furious swell came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down. It was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." So I want you to observe something. Um, it says there was a Jesus was actually in verse 38. Jesus was actually sleeping on a cushion in verse 38 of Mark chapter 4. And it's a very unlikely situation where there's a storm, it's raging, and you can tell from the description that it was a thick one. It was a very harsh storm, but Jesus was relaxing, sleeping, and probably resting because he'd had a very long day. And his disciples are overwhelmed and they don't have an understanding why Jesus would sleep in such a horrific atmosphere and situation. But he's sleeping because he actually gave an instruction to the disciples. He says, "Let us go over," meaning that there was going to be victory. It's not like he didn't know that there was going to be a storm, but he's quiet in the storm because he knows that there's victory. He has victory over everything. So they're going to go to their place and do whatever it is that they're going to do. And that's the declaration that the Lord has given. So many a times God tells you that this is going to be a beautiful year. This is going to be your year. And then when trials and tribulations start coming, then you start thinking that, oh, maybe, I was given a wrong prophecy, and because you're going through this and that. And then you start to question whether the word is authentic or not because you've gone through a storm. No, that's not it. Peace is being able to be calm and to hold on to the word of God that He has given you and to go through it because God went through the storm with His disciples. So that I just wanted to give you to reaffirm your position in faith, where you have to understand that peace is to be able to maintain. It doesn't mean that you're not going through things, but it's being calm when you're going through things, because the place where you're seated, your comfort is rested in the promise of God. And that's not an easy thing. I have to be very honest. That's not an easy thing. That's something that happens after practice and practice and practice. What kind of practice am I talking about? I mean, you spend so much time with the Lord and meditating on the goodness of God that you have your position and your faith is reaffirmed in Him because you've spent so much time meditating. And when you do that, it becomes something that is natural, and that's a state of maturity. So what am I saying? I'm saying that we have to come to that place of maturity so that we're not moved and tossed up and down by the devil, because he always takes an opportunity to do that when we're not rested in faith. And so I can say this is a week where I'm reaffirming our faith and encouraging us to stand firm. So peace is being able to be calm and not moved while you're going through things. I'm hoping that we're going to come to that place. May this be a pleasant day.